Yes, guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. And it finished Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2, and a fifth win in a row in all competitions for Chelsea. Graham Potter still unbeaten, but largely down to a Kepa masterclass between the sticks, and two great goals from Mason Mount today helped us on our way to another 3 points. But we rode our luck today. Villa probably deserved to score. They were all over us after Mount's opening goal. But we dug in, we held firm. Potter's use of the substitutes on the bench made a big difference, particularly at half-time and in the second half. And Potter ball is looking decent at the moment. You know, one of those days where, you know, we're on a run of wins at the moment. There's going to be some shithouse wins. And that was one of them today. Not at our best, but a few months ago, we would have lost that game. And now today we've won it by not playing well. So that can only bode well going forwards into the next games as Brentford comes in and United at the weekend as well. We're on a good run. We're building up a good head of steam. So yeah, hopefully we can continue that form. But today was a tricky test, and we came through it, which is really important. I'm delighted to be joined by Pys. Pys, thanks for coming as always, bro. What did you make of it today? Because at times, for large parts of the game, we were bang up against it.
Yeah, it was. It was a very difficult game, to be fair. I think we made it more difficult than we should have, probably. I was expecting us to have a lot of control, create a lot of chances, and just kind of win quite comfortably, to be fair, especially after the first goals. I think their atmosphere, died down a little bit. Then we got them back into it, and, their fans were really up for it. And you could tell it was quite a sort of toxic place for Aston Villa at the moment, because every time they passed backwards, the crowd would boo. And I thought, we could take advantage of that a little bit more. But I'm happy with the result in the end. Look, I mean, when you don't play your best and you still win 2-0, I think that's really good signs. Another very difficult away game on Wednesday against Brentford. So,
Yeah.
We're going to have to again probably survive through periods of that game, but equally we need to create more chances on Wednesday than we did today, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, even being perfect honest, when I was at Villa Park today, we didn't create very much at all. I mean, the opening goal from Mount, look, it's a good finish and he takes it well, but it's a ridiculously poor error by Mings at the back there. And then other than that, Sterling hits the bar in the first half. Aubameyang has a tame shot. There's a couple of half chances in the second half, but nothing too clear cut. So, yeah, we are going to have to improve on Wednesday, create a few more opportunities. But in terms of the lineup, mate, what did you make of it? Because obviously from the San Siro, we had about four or 5 days rest between the two games. Were you surprised of any choices in the lineup? Personally, for me, I was surprised that Koulibaly didn't start, particularly given how well he played against Milan. I felt it would have made sense to keep him in the lineup. And then obviously the rest of it, I mean, so. I mean, again, I'm surprised that maybe Pulisic didn't get an opportunity today, considering, since he played against Wolves and he scored, he hasn't played a single minute. Any surprises for you from Potter's selection?
Yeah, potentially Pulisic, but I think he's not started the last couple of games, and even after Wolves, I thought he may get a run in now, but his position was Sterling. And I think maybe Pulisic will start on Wednesday. Koulibaly definitely will, because I think Silva caught some sort of hamstring tightness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Silva will probably rest. Koulibaly will come in. But yeah, I think overall he's been using the squad pretty well, I'd say. And again, when you think about it, like, we don't really have that many centre backs now for Farner's injured. We've really only got Koulibaly, Chalobah, and Silva, and then obviously, usually you'd may consider Aspi there as an option at a free, or maybe it's Cucurella. But again, with Cucurella today, didn't really play too well there. So Graham Potter seemed to think it was the opponent more than anything for Cucurella. But we're interested to see what we do on Wednesday, because like, Brentford are like one of the teams that have a lot of height and they just spam long
Yeah.
balls against all the big teams. They play with 2 strikers, so yeah, on that game I'm a bit worried. But for this game, we didn't really do well with it either. I think Koulibaly coming on was a little bit better, but again, he got a rash yellow card, and
Yeah.
just wasn't very secure at the back today. Apart from Kepa, who obviously bailed us out.
Yeah, Kepa massively better. So, I mean, mate, are you surprised at how much that left-hand side really struggled in the first half of Cucurella at left centre-back and Chilwell? I mean, both good players, but mate, both were terrible today, really, if I'm being honest. Both weren't that good at all. I mean, Cucurella, I think, was worse. Chile wasn't that much better, but that left-hand side was a real problem for us. I mean, Are you I mean, how concerned are you by Chilwell's form? I mean, I don't think he's been awful. And yes, it's difficult to get back up to speed from an ACL, but you never know after injuries like this. I'm not saying that Chilwell's not going to get any better and he's not going to get back to the form that he showed pre-injury, but I suppose there's always a slight concern that after an injury like that, you might not be the same as you were before it. I mean, do you have any sort of long-term concerns for Chilwell, or you just think he's still trying to get back up to speed? Because again, he wasn't that good today.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sort of worried about him, to be honest with you. I think fitness wise, like intensity wise as well, I didn't think he was all that today. There was a couple of times where he just got beat on the flanks, 2v1 and 1v1s, and I just think his intensity is not as where it needs to be. And I think the only way he's going to get that back is by starting consecutive games. But at the same time, if he's playing like this and not really defending that well, then we don't really want him to. So he's in a difficult position at the moment. Yeah, I was just surprised with how like Cucurella and Chilwell were like almost didn't really understand their position. Almost like if you remember
Yeah,
the cross where Bailey headed it onto the bar, it
yeah.
was actually Chilwell who was kind of in the sort of left centre back position instead of Cucurella. But it was kind of fortunate he was, even though he got out jumped, because I think Cucurella might have got beaten easily even more because he's even smaller. So I think there was some sort of, I don't know, like confusion over their position. But I mean, there shouldn't be because Cucurella's played there quite a lot of times, and yeah, I thought our flanks today, even on the right side as well, both sides, um, we just got really isolated. It was
But
bad.
I mean, mate, what did you make of the fact that Sterling started at right wing back? Well, it certainly looked like that to me that he was playing that position. Well, definitely in the first half. Obviously, it didn't seem to work because Potter switched it up straight away, took Havertz off and stuck Aspilicueta on, and we switched it up. But I mean, do you think that just didn't work today? I mean, is it something you think we might see him use again? But I felt Sterling really struggled, particularly in that first half today. The right wing back didn't seem to suit him at all.
Yeah, no, I was saying this earlier on Twitter and stuff as well. I don't think it suited him at all. I feel like for me, he's best played when he's on the left hand side of things. Even when he played against Salzburg in like a wing back slash left mid hybrid role, he was still on the left hand side.
Yeah.
I know he's played it right plenty of times, but for me, for us, he plays better on the left. I think that showed he had a shot off the bar straight away when you move over to the left. So I don't know. It definitely didn't really really suit him at all. That.
No, it really didn't. He struggled to impose himself. I mean, he did hit the bar in the first half, and he was a little bit better in the second half. Are you concerned by his form at all, mate? Because obviously he came in the summer, as we know, and he hit the ground running, did pretty well. I mean, he's still got a decent return so far, but certainly the last sort of 3 games or so, maybe even stretching back to Palace, if I'm being perfectly honest, he's not really hit any particularly. He's in a bit of a poor run of form at the moment. For me personally, I feel he's struggling to influence games at the moment. I mean, does your form does his form concern you at the moment? And do you think that maybe it could be time to rotate him out the side, maybe starting on Wednesday?
Yeah, I do. I think Pulisic will get the chance on Wednesday. I think he probably deserves it as well, considering how well he played against Wolves. Um, and I think just like any players, Pulisic needs momentum, and for not really even coming off the bench since that Wolves game has really surprised me, to be honest with you. I don't know whether. I mean, I can only assume he doesn't train well or something, because otherwise, like, I seriously, I don't know why he hasn't featured at all. I mean, Gallagher's been coming on. Again, I think Broja deserves more minutes, man. Like 3 minutes today. I
Yeah,
think
2 minutes
that's
today is
that
not
substitute.
acceptable. Yeah,
That substitute where he brought Gallagher on for Aubameyang really confused me, because I think if you're going to
should
sub
have
off
been
a
Broja.
striker,
Yeah,
you bring on a striker as well. But I guess change formation. But the problem was he put Sterling at striker, and we started hitting long balls to him, and I was thinking like, what is this nonsense? Like, wouldn't like Broja as well on that Gallagher cross? Maybe if he brought Gallagher and Broja on, maybe Broja would have been best placed to head that. So it's just little things like that that I think need to be tweaked, and I'm hoping against Brentford we get to see the likes of Sterling get a rest, or you could even say dropped, because he's not been very good at all, to be honest.
yeah,
And he doesn't look sharp, man. He didn't look sharp today at all. The shot at the end where he had, I don't know if you saw it, um,
yeah. He just kicked it straight at the
he
keeper.
just kicked it straight at the keeper. And I was thinking, Sterling usually would kind of take that close to the goal or drill it in the corner, and he just didn't. It was really poor.
It was poor. I mean, just on the front line in general today, mate. What did you make of Aubameyang? I mean, we'll come on to Havertz, but I felt I don't want to criticize Aubameyang too much, but I felt today he was poor. But then to sort of counteract that, you're only as good as kind of the service you're given, and he wasn't really given any service at all today. I think he really struggled. I barely noticed he was even playing till about 5-10 minutes before half time. I think he had one shot in the first half, which was a tame effort, and he really struggled to get into the game as well. Do you put that down to just the fact that he didn't receive the ball? Do you think he could have done a bit more today?
I think he could have done a little bit more, but at the same time, I think he's a striker particularly that relies on service, and we didn't give him any service at all today. I don't think he had a chance, or even had a sniff of a chance. It was really really bad from us in the attacking phase, to be honest with you. So yeah, I do think he needs to get involved a little bit more. To be fair, he tried to, but he gave the ball straight away to them, and they had a shot on goal. But yeah, it's obviously frustrating when you're a striker and you don't get involved, you don't get touches of the ball. So what I do like about him though, compared to like Lukaku, is he does like drop deep. He will go out onto the left hand side, try and get involved. So he clearly is, not liking the fact that he's not getting the ball and he's trying for the team, which I think is something that Arsenal fans didn't like about him. The fact that he would just be a ghost up front sometimes. So I like the fact that he's adding that into his game with us at least, even if it's not always coming off.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it wasn't a particularly good day at the office for him, but again, he was kind of feeding on scraps, and he's there. Like he's shown in the last few games that if we give him the opportunities, he will stick it away. So we just need to work on giving him the opportunities, and maybe Wednesday night against Brentford, he gets another chance starting up top, and we create more opportunities, and he sticks one away. But I wanted to particularly talk about Kai Havertz for a little bit, mate. A lot of people still kind of defending him, making excuses for his poor performances. Obviously, hooked at half time today. I thought it was awful today. Literally, I'm at the point now where I don't know what Kai Havertz brings to this team, because I'm struggling to see him bringing anything at all. Doesn't really contribute any goals or assists. Doesn't influence the game in a positive way. Sometimes he works hard off the ball and he does some good off the ball work, but that's bare minimum for any football player. We paid 70 odd million pounds for him. And for me, I just don't know what he brings to the table in terms of what he offers to this side. Because right now, for me, like, we're a much better side when Havertz is kind of not playing. I mean, he just doesn't bring anything to the table. I mean, where do you think we go from this? This was a really bad afternoon for Kai, and he's got to improve really quickly, because otherwise, I seriously think we'll look to sell him in the summer, because we haven't got what we thought we were going to get from him.
Yeah, I think it's just those chances. Like, remember, I think someone cut back for him and he had a really sort of poor, tame shot into the goalie's hands. His only real positive moment was the run where he played Sterling for Sterling hitting the bar. Apart
Yeah.
from that, pretty invisible. And yeah, I do expect more from him. I also think he starts games really, really slow. In the first 10 minutes, I think twice someone passed the ball to him. He didn't realize the defender was behind him, just lost it straight away. Like, he's not got that sort of sharpness, that sort of intensity, the awareness to sort of, I don't know who's around him, and just the chant is the silky German, but he's anything but silky. You know what I mean? Like, it's the opposite. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want to give Kai time, but I've been like this for a while with him. Again, I don't really know his best position. I don't know what he offers a lot of the time. He's very hit and miss. He'll come and go in patches. And then yeah, that'll really be it. As you said, he does work hard sometimes. Other times he's really lazy. I feel like So he's such an on and off player that I don't really know what to think anymore. I kind of just judge him on a game by game basis, and yeah, it's hard.
It is tough. I mean, mate, right. I mean, at the moment, I mean, for me, he doesn't, in Chelsea's best 11, he doesn't make it. And I think it's as simple as that. I mean, I really do think at the moment he could be. I personally think Broja should be getting more minutes than Kai at the moment, and maybe perhaps Pulisic should be getting a bit more of an opportunity as well. But it is a concern. Obviously, whilst we're winning games, and 5 wins in a row in all competitions, whilst we're winning, like, perhaps it doesn't get talked about as much, or it doesn't matter as much because we're winning. But it shouldn't be ignored about how poor Havertz has really been for the vast majority of his 2 or 3 and a bit seasons here. He's very often failed to deliver. He's just like a purple patch player, really. He might go on a run of games in March where he scores a few goals, and then and then it'll disappear. So it is a real problem. I do think, come the summer, particularly with the likes of Nkunku coming, potentially Rafael Leao as well, and maybe others, that Havertz's days could be numbered unless he pulls his finger out his arse and has a really good remainder of the season, because we got players coming in and he could find himself surplus to requirements and being moved on. But I wanted to obviously move on to Kepa. He was phenomenal today. The triple save was outstanding, and he was the reason why I know Mount scored the goals, but Kepa was very much the reason why we won the game for me. He was outstanding today. How impressed have you been with him since he's come in? And do you think that he's gonna push on and can maintain this level, because he's been really good and he's won us the game today.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long he can continue for, but he's playing really well. I think with Kepa, it's like he's such a confidence player, one of the biggest confidence players I think I've ever seen at Chelsea, and I feel like one mistake might just kind of like send him down the shitter again almost, and just kind of lose all that. I mean, you can see in his post-match interview like how happy he is, and he's saying, "Look, I'm really confident. Everything's going well for me right now." So yeah, he's definitely undroppable at the moment. But at the same time, I do think Mendy will perhaps come back in the near future. Maybe the cup game against Man City, I think in November.
Yeah.
That's going to be really important for how he reacts when he comes back in the team as well. And to be honest, it's I don't know about you, but it's really weird seeing Kepa as our number one again. Like it's so weird. I can't get used to it, honestly. Like Mendy's been in there for the last year and a half now, and it just seems weird. But yeah, whoever's performing best for the team, whoever's helping us get results, gets to play, and it should be like that.
Yeah, mate, it is mad, really, isn't it? Like I would have thought, like going into this season, that a few games, say less than 10 games in, and then Kepa would suddenly be the number one again. But as you say, he's playing really well. I think he's definitely a confidence player. You can tell, he's got a lot of confidence at the moment. He's enjoying his football. He's happy. Potter likes him. And I said before, I think his characteristics as a goalkeeper suit what Potter wants from a goalkeeper more than Mendy does. Mendy, as you say, will get an opportunity, but right now, Kepa's doing nothing to warrant being dropped. So it's as simple as that. I mean, the shirt's his until, for me, he makes a mistake. Again, Carabao Cup, we will probably see Mendy in that third round game. And he's got to work hard and do what Kepa did when he was out the side. And take a page out of his book. But yeah, Kepa's doing really well. But I do agree with you, mate. It is odd seeing him between his sticks again. But he's doing the business right now. And 4 clean sheets in a row. But how just on that, 4 clean sheets in a row, we were shipping a lot of goals, and now we've tightened up defensively. I mean, do you put that down to sort of any changes Potter's made, or do you just think the players are just playing well at the moment, and that's what confidence brings? Because it's pretty much the same personnel, the same system, and yet under Tuchel, we were just letting in goals every game.
I think a lot of it is confidence, but at the same time, like Kepa has always had ability, but it's just always shown it in patches. And I think now is the first real time in a long time he's getting a consistent run of league matches. So yeah, I hope he can keep it up. I do still have my doubts. Some certain saves as well, I think, are questionable. Like even the first one of his triple save today, I think he palmed it out way too far, way too straight to the player. But at the same time, that you can't discount these other saves. Like the save from the cross was outrageously good. That was unbelievable save, and the second save from the triple one was unbelievable as well. Yeah, from crosses he's been okay. I do think that is one of his weak areas. But again, I mean, when you look at Mendy, he was really struggling with that as well, comparable to when you like compare it to his sort of first like 6 to 8 months at Chelsea. So yeah, I don't really know. It's an interesting debate to have for sure.
No, it is, but I mean, it's great to see that we've tightened up defensively, and just to think we've still got the likes of Reece James and Fofana to come back into the fold, then it can only bode well for us defensively. Just on Reece James, Matt, how do you felt we did without him today, and how do you think we might look to deal with this issue going forwards? I mean, Azpilicueta came on and he had a fairly solid second half, but I think for the next 8 games that we've got between now and the World Cup, I wouldn't be particularly comfortable with him starting all of them or playing a large part in all of them. I mean, Sterling, the right wing back thing didn't work. We might revisit it. I mean, what options do you think we've really got there? Because it's clear that he doesn't really see. He prefers Ruben in the middle of the park. It would appear. I mean, what options do you think we've got there? In terms, because realistically, it's Aspilicueta or Sterling. It seems at the moment, unless he does want to put Ruben there, but it takes away something from the midfield.
Yeah, Ruben. I think is probably going to play there. It's going to be interesting because I feel like I don't know which games he'll do it, but I feel like some games he'll probably play like a back four and probably put Aspi right back, but tell him not to go up as much. And then when you have a three-man midfield, you've got the right centre mid who can always come back and cover, and that'll be really important, whether that's Mount or Gallagher. So I don't think we did well at all without him. He's a massive miss for us, and we don't really have a great backup, to be honest. Aspi can't be relied on regularly. So I'm a bit worried in that area. I don't think he'll play Sterling there ever again, to be quite honest with you. If he plays him there again, I think he'll be on the left, like the Salzburg game. So I think really it's now Aspi, Ruben, maybe Chalobah, but I doubt it. Trying to think who else could play there. I don't really know, to be honest. Like,
It is tricky. I mean, I think. I mean, this is not true at all. I mean, I don't know why someone's putting that. No, I don't think that's true at all. Has it actually? Pys, do you know about this, mate? Has Lukaku's loan been terminated?
I think they want to terminate it.
Oh, they want to terminate it.
No, January. Oh, apparently Fabrizio's just put like a video up or something. I'll have to watch it.
No, fair. Well, yeah. So maybe Lukaku's loan, they want to terminate it in January. I don't know. We'll wait to see if more stuff comes out. But yeah, I mean, mate, let's move on to Mason Mount. How pleased are you with this form now? I mean, he's had a tricky start to the season. He's been criticised, and rightly so. The performances weren't good. And now, last 3-4 games, the 2 Milan games, the Wolves game, and now this one, he's stepped up and he's been absolutely superb. Again, 2 goals today. That free kick is outstanding technique. It's a great goal. It's a timely return to form, isn't it? I mean, how important do you think he can be for the side now in this run for the rest of this month and up to the World Cup? Because with Reece James out, if Mount can continue this form, then he's going to quickly become could become our most important player in this period. I mean, what have you made of his return to form the last 4 games? Because it's been really needed.
Yeah, I think he's been really good lately, and I think he's one of our most important players when he does play really well. And I mean, the goals today were really good. His free kick, kind of how can I say it? Yeah, like the knuckleball kind of effect on it. He had that sort of spin on it, which was really good. I think he anticipated Martinez diving to the left, and he thought, if I hit this on the valve and swerve, it might, go in, and it did. So yeah, his first goal really well taken as well. I think that's really underrated goal because it's coming out from the air. You've got the keeper running to you, and I think it's a great finish. So yeah, he's definitely one of our most important players. And he can play in so many different positions as well. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to be doing in the next few games.
I mean, obviously, we don't want to sort of like burn him out, and he's going to need a rest. I mean, when you look at the games we've got coming up, obviously Brentford Wednesday, then we've got United on Saturday, then we go to Salzburg, and then we've got Brighton away to finish the month. I mean, where surely he can't start all these games. I mean, where do you envisage him getting a rest? I know he only played a half against Milan in the San Siro, but I mean, how do you see Potter using him? Do you think he's just going to play him in all these games?
Who, Mount?
Yeah,
probably, mate. To be honest with you,
you think he's just going to use him in all of them? Fair.
Yeah, probably. I can't see where he gets a so-called rest. And I think he's yeah, I think he's sort of the guy that you can rely on, maybe with Sterling to sort of, they're very durable. So, I mean, maybe against Brentford, but look, if we win against Brentford, then we're 1 point behind Man City. So I feel like we need to play.
That's mad, isn't it?
Like
is that same games played as well?
Yeah, we will have if once we play.
Mate, how mad is that? Like, it's actually mad how, like, when you just go on a small like kind of a run of wins like we've just gone on now, how you can just quickly get yourself back in the mix. I mean, it's mad to think that after the start we've had to the season, that if we win against Brentford, then we could only be 1 point behind City, which I wouldn't be expecting to say it at this point of the season. I mean, what have you made of Potter's just general impact? Because he's been here 6 games now, 5 wins and a draw. How impressed have you been with him? Because, I think he's not changed. He's not drastically changed things, but I think he's kind of come in. He's given the players like kind of renewed confidence. What really impressed me today, and what has impressed me throughout the games that he's been here, is he uses the bench really well, and he actually gives the changes a chance to try and make an impact. Where one of my big criticisms of Tuchel was his subs. Like, either waited way too long, or he just didn't react in time. He was always reactive rather than proactive. Whereas Potter seems to be very proactive from the bench, and brings players on, changes things if he doesn't think it's good. Double check. There's 3 changes today before the hour mark. I mean, that was unheard of under Thomas Tuchel. I mean, how pleased are you with the work he's done, and particularly kind of his use of players from the bench as well? Because his in-game management seems to be really helping us out.
Yeah, I think he's done really well, to be honest, bro. I think games like today as well, you need to grind those results when you don't play well. I think he's really humble. I think he's a great talker. I think today again he showed his adaptation skills as well to adapt to a game. I liked that he brought 2 new defenders on at half time. Clearly saw an issue and tried to resolve it. And yeah, I think overall we've been playing some really good football. I'm just interested to see like how we play in the big Premier League games against Man United and Arsenal towards the
Yeah.
end of this month. So yeah, that'll be really key for me. But overall, I think we've done really, really well. And yeah, I mean, we're scoring plenty of goals. Another 2 today. 2 against Milan, 3 against Milan before. So yeah, 3 against Wolves. We're doing pretty well.
Mate, it's going well, isn't it? We're scoring a lot of goals. I mean, like, it just goes to show that football can change so quickly, and it is obviously kind of a when the momentum's with you, it is with you, and we are on a run at the moment. And I think when we do eventually lose, it's going to be interesting to see how we react to a loss under Potter, because at the moment it's all been positive. It's all like 1 draw in the Salzburg game, and it's been 5 wins on the spin. So, let's see how we react when we have a difficult result, say a loss, or we drop points in a draw that we perhaps should have won. So I'd be interested to see how we react to them. But I do think we're playing really well at the moment, and it is really good to see. Mate, do you think there's, because I spoke to a few people after the game today, do you think there's a possibility that there's space to start both Mount and Gallagher in this side? Because I think he came on today. I thought he was good today when he came on. Energy, good on the ball. Mate, I'd love to see them both start in the same team. I mean, do you think like Potter would do that? Do you think that can work, or do you think they're very much competing with each other?
Just Mount and who? Gallagher.
Mount and Gallagher. I'd love to see them start in the same team.
Yeah, maybe. Both maybe as the 8s in like a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
That could work. I think Kovacic does need the rest as well. I know he came off 60 minutes, but clearly he's playing through this injury, and that does worry me because with the World Cup coming up, he's literally one of Croatia's like nailed on starters. So he's playing a lot of football, and we need to obviously rest him, and Jorginho needs to start on Wednesday, I think. And I'll be really interested to see what he does. But yeah, I would like to see that, because I think both love to get forward. It's just they also love to defend, and they also love to work for the team. So I feel like coming back, if they can do their job and their discipline, then it could work. But obviously, if they both get caught too far up and you leave Jorginho isolated, we know what happens then. So it's just about finding the right balance, and that's what the manager's here for.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, man, I felt today that actually when Jorginho came on, and like I felt as soon as he came on, we suddenly had a lot more control of the game. We weren't getting so overrun in midfield. Villa weren't all over us like they had been before. So, he has got he can play a crucial role in this side. And I think his last 2 performances, Milan and then this one today off the bench, he was showing promising signs, and he played really well. So we can just have a bit more of that from him, then that would really stand us in good stead. But yeah, I think it was one of those kind of workman-like performances. We weren't at our best, but ultimately that's a sign of a good team when you can win when you're not playing well. I mean, mate, I'm just going to quickly bring up. We'll just quickly do some ratings. We'll just rattle through it. Don't need to spend too long on it, because I know you've already done this today, bro. So I appreciate it. But I'll just quickly rattle through it. I don't know why I've left Courtois in the sticks there. Let's
Thinking of
go.
the song.
They make the song, yeah, and I'm so annoyed the video cut out. It's fucking annoying. Guys, before we get into these ratings very quickly, please do smash the likes on the stream and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. On the road to 2K subscribers. So if you're tuning in now and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Okay, mate, Kepa, we touched on it. Absolutely phenomenal today. The triple save was great. He kept us in the game. Really confident. Could be playing some of the best football of his career. I mean, rating wise today, is a 10 too much?
I went 10 earlier. I can't lie. I did go 10 earlier.
Mate,
On,
I think he was. Mate, I think, mate, if this is not a 10 performance, and I don't know what is a 10 performance.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what we said.
Mate, it's a perfect 10 for Kepa. Let's move on to Trevor Chalobah then. Mate, Chelsea's still unbeaten in games that Chalobah, every game that Chalobah's I think it's started or was it played in one of the two, but Chelsea has not lost in a game that Trevor Chalobah started, I believe. I felt he was good again today, and I'm really enjoying the fact that he's having a solid run in the side, even albeit at Fofana's expense. But he's really showing what a top player he is, and he's going to be a really, really important part of the squad going forward this season and the team. What did you make of him today, mate?
I thought he was decent, to be fair. I didn't think he was amazing, but I thought he was decent. I feel like he was left to hang out and dry a little bit because obviously that kind of right wing back role was never really there. I think he was left isolated. Ruben came in and helped a little bit, but Chalobah I thought was decent. Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember what ratings I went with now. Jesus Christ.
I'll probably give him a 7. I felt he was good today. I don't think he did anything wrong.
I think I went with a 6. I'm pretty sure, or a 6.5.
Oh mate, I'm gonna go with a 7. I thought he was good today, mate, and I'm really pleased with how he's doing. I'm delighted that he's actually getting a run in the side because at one point it looked like he was barely going to feature this season. So it's great to see him back in there. Thiago Silva again. He was outstanding, honestly, mate. He's so good. I can't. We say it all the time. I cannot believe how good this guy is for his age. For 38 years old, I can't believe he's come to this league and he's the best defender in the league. It just, every game he's almost faultless. He just run out of things to say. How did you view him today? I didn't think he maybe one or two things where he could have done slightly better, but. He was covering a lot for Cucurella, I felt as well. I mean, what did you make of Silva today?
Just reading some of the comments. Very high ratings, guys. This is not what we thought earlier, but I mean, fair enough. Maybe the win hype is there, but I think straight after the game when I did the ratings, I think I went for like a 6.5 because I think the defense was, and this isn't to say it's bad. Like 6 is my like average rating, so 6 means you played okay, like you did okay, like you sort of played okay, you did all right. 6.5 to 7 is kind of like you played decent, you played good, you didn't really make any mistakes. So I think I went with a 6.5. And we'll get on to the next one.
Mate, this one will probably be the lowest one. Oh, man, I'm going to slightly not give him a nod. I'm going to give him a 7. But I might give Chalobah a 7.5. Why not? Because I felt Chalobah was actually maybe slightly better than him today. Mate, Cucurella probably along with Chilwell. Actually, maybe Havertz as well, who was dog shit. But mate, this wasn't it today. Really struggled in that left centre back role. As you said earlier, Potter saying he put it down to the opposition. I'm not sure if he's as comfortable there as he would be at left wing back, but he was having a torrid time today. I don't think in that half he really did anything well at all. I mean, can you think of anything he did that was good?
No, to be honest, no. I went with a 1 on the stream earlier, which I did. Lawrence went with a 0 if he was interested.
Nah, man. I've never given him a 0, but I've made to be like he just didn't do anything good today. Just one of those games that
he
you
was
can have
constantly out of position. He was getting beat. He was not good on the ball. By the way, I don't know. You surely noticed it. How many misplaced passes did we make today?
Mate,
the fans must have been going nuts.
Mate, so many. Particularly first half. It was a bit better second half.
If I was going nuts on the TV, you lot must have been losing your mind.
It just kept going out of play.
We couldn't play in midfield. We couldn't play out wide. It was fucking awful. It's terrible.
It was terrible. I mean, it
was horrendous. Like,
I think
sorry, right? But
he was not good today. He was not good today. I'll give him a 1. Sterling, mate, he touched on it earlier, struggled in that right wing back role. Yes, he did hit the bar. Second half, when he was central, we had an opportunity where he just shot it straight at the keeper. He was a little bit better when he was central, but this was fairly poor from him. And as we said earlier, he has got to up his game and rediscover some sort of form. I mean, I wouldn't even say it was average today. I'd say it was below average today. I was disappointed in him.
Chilwell.
No, Sterling.
Yeah, he was really bad. I think this was another one of Lawrence's zeros.
I think Lawrence has got a bit of a Sterling agenda starting to creep in.
It's not liking him lately, but
no, he's not.
I mean, to be fair, like it's kind of right. I think he was.
No, he's right.
We do expect a lot more, and I think today, like, did he complete a dribble? Like, he hit the bar, fair enough, but other than that, he was pretty bad. I mean, his shots were bad. His header, to be fair, was quite unlucky. I didn't expect him to score it, but just he doesn't impact the game the way we know he can do, and the way we have some facilities. So he's just looking a lot less explosive as well. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe he does need a rest. I don't know. I think I went with. Actually, I think I agreed, and we actually just went with like a 0. To be fair, we thought
it was worse than Cucurella. You gave him the same as Cucurella.
Yeah, I give him a 1, but I think we all decided on a 0 instead.
No, mate, I'll give him a 1 as well. They were both poor. Let's move to the other side quickly. Chilwell, part of that left hand side that really struggled in the first half.
For me, he was the worst. For me,
Do you think he was the worst?
Yeah.
Do you think he was lucky not to come off at half time?
Yeah, 100%. I can't believe he stayed on the pitch. To be honest with you, I thought he was going to put Cucurella left wing back and just bring Koulibaly on, but he didn't. I was kind of shocked, to be honest. His crossing was so bad as well. I can't. The amount of times he got beat, the amount of times he looked out of position, the amount of times again he made fouls. I think that one. Debatable whether it's a red or not. There's different angles and opinions on it. I think the fact that he's, the guy's not really close to the goal helps him. Whereas I think if that's near the box, it's almost certainly probably a red.
In trouble.
I think this one was a 0. I think he was awful, to be honest with you. I don't think he was good at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I struggle to give him a rating to what he did good. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to pick for points.
I can't find any. Yeah, I think I'll give him a 1 as well. I think he was poor. Even it's mad. There's 3 1s in there, even though we've actually won a game 2-0. But to be fair, there was not good today. Let's move on to midfield, mate. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I felt maybe at times in the first half he played it a little bit safe, but I felt he had another pretty solid game in the middle of the park. And I think Gareth Southgate might have been there today, I've seen on Twitter. And to be fair, mate, with England's midfield issues at the moment, I think Ruben's, if he carries on, he's got a real chance of making the World Cup squad as well.
I mean, that would be amazing for him, wouldn't it? What a fucking transformation that would be.
Do you think he could?
Oh, 100%. He's better than some of the shite England put out, mate. 100%.
Mate, he's way better than Jordan Henderson.
I watched that midfield. I watch, it's so boring. Like Phillips and Rice, like two DMs.
Phillips. Like, come on, Phillips won't go.
But the fact is, like, he usually plays that, doesn't he? Like, he usually plays 2 DMs.
Yes, always
play like Henderson and Rice or some shit like that. Like,
Bellingham will definitely.
Bellingham
will play. It'll be Bellingham and Rice. But I mean, for me, mate,
it's got to be an option. Right wing back as well. Who else are they going to play there? Like, I mean, Trent might go.
He'll play Trippier there.
Yeah,
but mate, I do think Ruben's definitely got an outside chance of the World Cup. But I mean, what have you made of his form this season, particularly the last few games? So I think he's really impressed in the middle of the park.
I think he's been consistent, bro. I think he's been pretty good. He's growing into this role. And I think defensively as well, he's been a lot better. That was one of my main issues with him in the pivot before. Was even though you're like the more attacking one, because Kovacic kind of played as the deep player today, you still need to do defensive duties, and I think he won quite a few tackles. So yeah, I've been impressed with him. I give him a. I can't remember what I gave him earlier. I think I give him a 7. I think.
Yeah, mate. I was going to give
6.5 actually. Yeah, 6.5, and I remember my.
Yeah, I think a 6.5 is fair. I think he was above average today. He put in a good shift, and he's finally, we're getting some consistency to his game, which is the one thing that perhaps you could say has been lacking from Ruben is consistent performances. And I think in the last 3-4 games, he has really turned up, and he's been really consistent. Kovacic obviously subbed off at about the hour mark today. He looks like he needs a rest, as you touched on earlier. I mean, What did you think of him today? I gotta be honest, I don't think he was that good today. I felt he could have influenced the game a bit more than he did, and I felt perhaps at times he did struggle in that first half as well. I mean, what did you make of him? Do you think he was good today? I mean, I personally felt he was a bit so, not one of his better games.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a 6. I think because he played like, what was it, 60 minutes. I still think he was, okay, average. But again, I think you're seeing him do less dribbles now unless he has to, because of this recurring knee problem. I think he's 100% playing through it. I think Graham Potter said that they need to manage his fitness as well. So,
Yeah,
again though, it's not a good thing, man. Like you've got like, why not play Chukwuemeka? Like, why not play? Why not give Zakaria a chance? I know it's Premier
yeah,
League, but you have got options there.
mate.
They can't be awful, can they?
That Zakaria thing is mad.
That's
Mate,
done, mate. He's never going to play
mate,
for us.
do you honestly, just quickly on that? Do you honestly think he's never? Do you think he's not going to play for us?
I don't think he's ever going to play for us. I can't see a way he plays for us. If you think
Mate,
about it,
I just don't understand because he's bought in. I just don't get it. Like, why wouldn't he use him, particularly when we're so light in midfield at the moment? I just don't get why he wouldn't use him.
I don't know. I'm not at the training ground, but
No,
yeah, like you think even if Kovacic and Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek rest, he would probably play. Like I'm trying to think of that Carabao Cup game against C. He'll probably still play one of Jorginho, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek, and then the other one will probably be like Chukwuemeka or Gallagher or Mountby. Like there's just literally no possible way I could
mate,
see
I
this guy
just don't
playing for us.
understand. I just don't understand it. Like, mate, I'd actually like to see him just to see
So would I, because I
just to
just
see
want to
what he can
decide whether
do.
he is shit or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like at
mean,
least with Saul, we decided he was shit. We've
yeah,
not got like if he does go like terminate in January, like we will never know if he could have been good or not. Like surely you can't like at least give us like 2 games, like even some sub appearances. Like
yeah. It's
just give us something. You know
nothing.
what I mean? Nothing. Absolutely not. He was on the bench today. I don't think he ever warmed up. Like it's just
No, I was like,
crazy.
why?
I feel
Why is
so
he
bad
here?
for him.
I do feel
Yes,
bad for him. I
I
do
feel
feel
bad
bad for him
for him,
as
man.
well. But the
He seems like a
Kovacic
really
things,
nice guy as well, because
yeah,
like
he
I've seen some
does.
of the interviews, and he said his latest one he said was like, if you're not good enough, you won't play for this club. And I was just like, yeah,
Thinking,
mate,
well,
you're right, but
maybe
you
that's
ain't,
the case.
yeah, you ain't send, you ain't giving us a chance to sort of, or we haven't given you a chance to kind of, show what you're about. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him get a chance, but I mean, it seems to be a long way off at the moment. So, yeah, but like, it is an odd one. It is an odd one. But I mean, just back to cover very quickly, mate. Do you think better or worse than Ruben? I'd probably say he was slightly worse. I'll probably give him a 6. I think just average. Do you think that's? Would you go along with that? Do you think that's fair?
is this for, sorry?
Cover.
Yeah, I went with a 6, yeah.
Yeah, I think a 6 is fair. Mate, let's move on to the front three then to round this thing out. I think we could be in for another low rating with Kai Havertz. We touched on him earlier. I struggle to see what he actually brings to this team. And today, as you said, apart from one pass, I think was it what for the Sterling hit the bar. That mate, there was nothing today. Really nothing. Yeah, I mean, anything to add on that? Do you think what a 1 along with like the likes of Sterling, Chilwell, and Cucurella, or do you think that's a little bit too harsh?
Um, I don't know, man. Like,
There was just nothing
yeah,
there.
it's just not nothing there. Probably a 2, to be honest, because I didn't think he was as bad as the others, but he was pretty bad. Like he was close to being that rating. The run really to Sterling saves him, and also couple of runs here and there, but nothing really. Played on the left a bit as well when the team came out, and then obviously moved to the right when I think it was who came on. Someone came on, and he moved to the right. I think it might have been when Ruben changed. He
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of moved. So yeah, he didn't do enough today for me. He was really poor.
Yeah, I mean, Pys, I don't know if you've got ins with these with Law and Simon Phillips. Football Star wants to know why no journalists are asking why Zakaria is not playing.
I
I mean,
mean, I can try. Yeah, I can try and ask one of the athletic guys, but even
I
if
mean, it is a
they
fair
probably
point,
wouldn't
though.
tell me.
I know it's a fair point, though, mate. Are you surprised that no journalist or no one's really asked at a press conference whether why he's not playing?
Yeah, I am. But I'm gonna say though, the press conferences are awful. Like I think for
And the
years
questions are terrible.
the thing is though, bro, you know why? It's because they always invite or they always have the same people, and the same. You know, you never get any sort of interesting questions. The only person that asks interesting questions is that I think her name is like Olivia Bazaglo or something.
Oh
She
yeah,
does
yeah, yeah.
yeah, she does some media, and she always puts out like, what would you want me to ask like Thomas Tuchel when he was here? And she would always ask a really interesting question that basically whatever the most replied Twitter question was, she would ask.
Yeah.
Like these guys just go in like ahead of Brentford. They'll be like, I can almost guess it, right? It'll be injury updates. How have you found life at Chelsea so far?
Yeah.
Um, something about Brentford and Thomas Frank. What thoughts on their team? How are you dealing with this busy period? And the fifth
Yeah.
one will probably be something like fucking I don't know. Uh, how how they already asked him this today, but they'll probably ask him again. Like, how big of a miss is Reece James? Like,
Yeah.
they never ask any important questions. They could ask about Zakaria. They could ask about like what his thinking is in terms of tactics and formations. They could ask about I don't know so many things. They're just so boring. So no, I'm not surprised to be honest with you because they're
Yeah,
rubbish.
mate. It's somewhat that does need to be asked because it is odd why he's just not playing. But anyway, mate, Havertz was poor. Move on to Mason Mount. We gave Kepa a 10. I mean, Mount's the free kick is unbelievable. We've got to be honest. I mean, is Mount a 10 or is he just under? I mean, I think he's definitely a 9, but I mean, there's I don't know. There's possibilities for a 10. What are you saying?
I mean, it's interesting because I actually went with an 8 for Mount. I think outside the goals, which again, you know, very important thing, but I think the
Yeah,
goals give him this high rating. I
yeah, yeah,
think overall, like I think his performance against AC Milan was much better, in
yeah,
my opinion. I think he was way more impactful. But in terms of the goals, I think yeah, he does get the 8 rating for me. And to be fair, I think the reason why, like, you know, for example, like you got Chalobah 7.5. Like I think the highest I went up until the attackers was like a 6 or a 6.5.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, for me, an 8 is like really high considering how we played.
Yeah, yeah, no, I, mean, I think he was good today. I might just add a 0.5 for the free kick because it was fucking good. But
It looked honestly, you know what? It looked better from the stands than the TV.
oh,
It
mate,
looked very good on the TV, but it looked even
yeah,
better from the stands in the videos.
mate, it was good from the stands. It was. It just like just a whip on it, top bins, and yeah, it was class. But yeah, no, I thought it was really good today. We've already spoke about him earlier. I thought he was spot on today. Aubameyang, we also touched on him earlier. I'm not really involved in the game at all today. I think this is probably going to be another fairly low rating. I mean, I don't know if he was below average. I mean, he probably was below average. I just don't think he was that good. I mean, struggled, didn't really offer too much. Didn't really have an awful lot of service. He was kind of just fairly anonymous today. I mean, Pies, what are you thinking, mate? In terms of Aubameyang, do you think below? Would you agree below average? Well below average?
Yeah, I went with a 5.5, because I do think he was below average, but at the same time, I don't think a lot of it was his fault. I mean, he tried to make runs on certain occasions. He tried to get involved, but again, he was pretty sloppy. And I do think our overall play, like into the attackers, was just really, really poor today. Second half, especially, I think there was opportunities where, for example, when Ruben burst into midfield, he played that wide pass to Chilwell, and Chilwell hit the first man. Aubameyang was making a really nice run into the centre of the box, and you know what can you do if Chilwell hits the first guy, you know, from Aston Villa? So
Yeah.
it's things like that, you know, on another day, um, and well, yeah, he must have came off when Sterling was in the box for that header. You know, if that's Aubameyang, maybe it goes in.
Yeah,
So
possibly.
it's just things like that that I think on another day he might get a goal and we might be giving him a higher rating.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a possibility for sure. Yeah, let's hit that up. I think a 5.5 is fair. I mean, you're only as good as kind of what service you're given and what you're given. I say what you're given to work with, and wasn't given much to work with today. So yeah, I think that's fairly fair. I won't bother rating the subs. But I thought Koulibaly had a really positive impact on the game, and mate, is Aspilicueta having a bit of a slight renaissance in terms of we see him play quite well against Wolves. I don't think he was that bad coming off the bench uh, to today either. Obviously, it's a different situation, but do you still think that on Aspie quickly that ideally we want to avoid using him too much?
Yeah, I do agree. I think to be honest, I like Aspi more when he comes off the bench than starts because I just don't
Yeah.
think he's got the legs to be a starter anymore, especially with how like fast we play and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. But yeah, no, I think we done well. Jorginho again. People in the chat saying Jorginho was good. Yeah, I think Jorginho was good. But yeah, no, I think we'll just take that off the screen. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Pys, anything else to add, bro? I don't really think there's too much else to say that we've not covered. Just very briefly on Brentford. I know obviously the pre later in the week and whatnot, but I mean, do you expect there to be quite a few changes from today's side?
Yeah, I do.
With United in mind on Saturday as well.
Yeah, I do. I think there'll be a few changes. I think Koulibaly will start. I think Aspi will probably start. Trying to think who else will probably start. I think Cucurella will start
I
again.
think he'd probably start Gallagher as well.
Not sure. Maybe. He'll start Pulisic, I think. And if you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the game that Broja starts as well. But I'm not too sure on that because Aubameyang did come off at like 60 minutes. So I'm not sure whether that's in mind for Wednesday or whether that's sort of like, just rest in general, because he's
Yeah.
33 or whatever. Not sure.
Yes, it'll be interesting, but I think one thing's for certain. I don't think I'll be shocked if we saw 7 changes like we did for that Wolves game. But you never know. Potter does rotate where necessary, and the game on Saturday is really important. But this game against Brentford is also equally important. So we'll have to see what he does. But yeah, seems like a good point to round up, guys. Thanks so much for getting involved in the chat as always. Thanks for your input, really appreciate it. Pys, thanks for your time as always, bro. Always great to chat all things Chelsea. People want to check out your stuff, then Pys's stuff, and please obviously head to Twitter if you're not following already. I'm sure thousands of you are, but if you're not, make sure you do. And also head to his website as well, mate. Any updates on the website? Any merch or anything like that in the pipeline?
Yeah, potentially going to do some few collaborations. So we've got a shop which is shopcfc365.com if you want to check that out, guys. And yeah, the website chelseafc365.com. Pretty plain and simple, easy to remember, easy to visit. We've got some player ratings up from our writer earlier and also like a what we learned article. So yeah, there's always lots of articles we're doing. We enjoy it.
Yeah, spot on, guys. They're both linked in the description below. So please do go and check all that stuff out. Some great stuff on there. But yeah, guys, I'll be back on Tuesday evening with a preview for the Brentford game. So until then, on your way out, please do smash the likes on the stream, smash the subscribe button as well if you haven't done so already. And also check out the match vlog from today as well. It's on the channel now. So if you've not watched that, then please do head over there and check it out. But yeah, until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be back in a couple of days. Up the Chelsea.